Hello and welcome, my friend. I'm vocal coach Dylan, and thank you for taking the time to have a quick listen to what I got to say. So you may find that you're looking for answers with your singing out there on YouTube, and there's so much information, right? The thing is, the information that you're hearing, most of it is right. It's just, is it correct for you at this point on your journey? That's what's important. And of course, the only person that would know that is a vocal coach if you had one-on-one lessons. But the problem with that is that a lot of those vocal coaches out there, they're a bit like hairdressers, you know? You go from one to another. They're all hairdressers, but it takes a while to find one that cuts your hair just the way you like. I'm a vocal coach who, I'm a little different to the rest. And I suppose the way I'm different is a long time ago, I was a natural singer. I then got heavily into drinking and smoking and totally lost my voice. And I mean, when I say lost it, it cut out completely. I had to go to ENT and rehabilitate my voice. When I first started talking again, I was stuttering. I remember trying to talk and it was kind of like, I couldn't even remember how to speak a word. It was the strangest sensation ever. But that journey, that really changed things for me because I then had to rebuild my voice completely from scratch. And that rebuilding my voice from scratch gave me a huge insight into what it feels like to not be a natural singer. Crazy, right? So before I was a natural singer, so I just opened my mouth and sing. It was easy. So when someone said to me, how do you sing, Dill? Because I get people come up to me and go, oh man, you got to teach me. You're an amazing singer. I go, yeah, cool. Open your mouth and sing. Because I didn't know. It was only when I went through the process of losing my voice completely. I mean, I had to start from scratch. I remember trying to hit a note on the piano when I started getting my voice back. And I could hit like 2 or 3 notes. So my range had reduced right down to about a third. And even then, my voice was so weak, it would only last for, I don't know, a sentence or 2. And then it would just sort of crackle and cut out. It was really distressing. But anyway, that's another story. My deep, dark journey through the beginnings of getting my voice back. Right, but I got my voice back. But it took a long time, and I had to really search deep to work out what was the difference between how I used to sing and now I'm rebuilding my voice. I need to make sure I can do that again. You get me? So I went out there and I started learning all those systems of how to teach your voice, how to teach yourself to sing. So I was la la la, lip trilling, you name it, and I bought all the courses, all the books, did them all. And I was noticing that when I recorded my voice down, it sounded very mechanical. It didn't sound great. It was in tune. I could understand the words. The voice had better range than I used to have. But it was missing something, and what it was missing was emotion. And that really made me look back, because I was like, hang on, when I was a natural singer, when I could open my mouth and sing and people would just go, oh, wow, that's amazing. And you could see how they would just be drawn into my voice, which is very cool. But of course, I was already in my voice, so I didn't really notice that much. But anyways, I would kind of like, back then, all I'd ever do is just take a moment to connect to how I felt, and I would express that through my voice. That was it. I didn't know about breath support, resonance, articulation or anything. Yet I still had a good 2 octaves in range that was beautifully balanced and expressed emotion perfectly, or in my eyes perfectly anyway. So then I was like, well, how do I get back to that state? And it's all about connecting to emotion. All that stuff you see on YouTube about, doing scales and stuff, that's just strengthening a voice. It's not singing. And even a lot of the stuff that I show you, it's just preparation for your voice. It's not actually singing. And I started looking at a lot of YouTube channels again a couple of months back, and it was just starting to really wind me up, because as a vocal coach, I know the coaches out there that are just copying other coaches, parrot fashion, to get some business. Okay, I get it. We're all out to make a buck, but that's like that hairdresser analogy. You try out a few of them and start to realize they're not the hairdresser for you. And of course, I can tell they would definitely not be the hairdresser for you, because when they demonstrate stuff, they're actually demonstrating that they can't do the thing that they're talking about. But unless you have the knowledge, you would never know. Now, I'm not the kind of person that's going to call them out. So all I can say is check out the content on my channel. And it is from a vocal coach who genuinely, I'm already making loads of money from my students as it is. Most of the reason why I don't create lots of videos is because I'm always teaching, and I love teaching, and I don't want to kind of split that attention too much. You get me? So I give all my focus to my students. That means my channel goes down. Right now, though, like I say, I've just started watching those videos a couple of months back, and I'm like, oh, come on, people. Vocal coaches I'm talking about here. You're teaching people a lot of bad stuff. The starting point for all singers, even if you're advanced, I would say, I've been teaching singing now for officially about 24 years. But before that, when I was singing in bands and stuff, I would still be helping other singers, and they'd be like, oh man, you should teach. I'd be like, nah, man, it's not my bag, man. I'm like a muso, man. I'd be a bit more like that. Of course, after a while, and after damaging my voice and everything, I then did become a vocal coach, and I love helping people get onto the right track. I'm burbling now, ain't I? But on a side note, notice how my voice sounds now. Yes, I agree with you, it's a little bit lispy, but I got a lot of jaw problems. Only a little while back, my jaw was locked and I couldn't move it. It's breaking down on one side, the bone and everything, through age. 52 years old I am. Yeah, and they said, just the bone, it's all breaking down. So I was like, oh, great. He was surprised I could even move my jaw. So I do a lot of exercises to keep the jaw moving, and it's a constant battle. And there's this little bit of lisp that I keep working on, but because my jaw is constantly moving, it's very hard to get that tongue in the right place all the time. But either way, that's another story. But again, it shows you I do actually know what I'm talking about. And hopefully when you listen to my singing on the videos, you start to go, do you know what? There is something in his singing. There is a freedom that you're looking for. And that's what's in my singing. So, long story short, that was a real ramble. But do you know what? I thought if you want to sit here and listen to me then and get to know me, this is me. And I'm rambling. I've also got a good sense of humour. And that humour, sometimes throughout my life, I've noticed people underestimate my intelligence because I do have a sense of humour. That has no effect on the fact that I really know what I'm doing. All because, and like I say, it's all because of that unique situation that I went through where I lost my voice and I was already one of those natural singers. So to be able to look back and understand that actually it's the emotion that triggered correct breath support, correct resonance, correct articulation, all of that stuff, correct vocal focus, it's all affected by how I mentally approached the singing. So that's where you all need to start. Not with the emotional singing, although you can do, but you need to start with what I call blocking tensions. Blocking tensions is things like jaw tension, tongue tension, facial tension, throat tension. Those tensions will stop you having any real benefit from any exercise that you learn on YouTube. So I would say, because like I say, most of the coaches are teaching parrot fashion anyway, that if you just watched any of them with the correct foundation in place, all their stuff would work. All the courses would work. But none of them work unless you have the correct foundation in place first. And that's actually the thing I spend the most time with all my students, just getting them to understand the correct mindset, recognizing the signals really that your body is giving your mind, and which signals your mind needs to give to your body. So both ways, cool? Your body is constantly telling you, you need to focus on this, you need to focus on that. But if you're not sure which one to focus on, you just ignore them and think, oh, my voice is getting tense. It already told you it was getting tense a couple of notes back. Learning to recognize that means you can then adjust your voice naturally and correctly, and it'll be fine. Cool? And of course, that then leads in the end to what I call emotional singing, which is through emotional triggers. That is real singing. All the exercises and everything, it's just voice strengthening. Really, I'll tell you what, this is a way to think of it. Think of it as all the stuff that you're hearing on YouTube is like building the instrument. Okay, so it's like you're actually learning to build the guitar. But they're not teaching you how to play the guitar. Playing the guitar is the emotional element. It's the bit that sets you apart from every other singer. And it really does. It's your own unique footprint. Cool. So let me give you an example just so you can really get the meaning of that. When someone's talking about belting and they go, oh, it's got a bit of twang to it and it's got a bit of darkness. Yeah, that's really the information for a vocal coach when they're listening to you sing and they go, oh yeah, it needs a bit more this, bit more that. But actually all you need to do is think stern. And if you think stern correctly, it will have the correct amount of twang and the correct amount of darkness. Cool? If you want to know more about that kind of stuff, then just get in touch. I'll leave the email right here. Cool? Just get in touch and we'll talk through that stuff. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Enjoy the channel. If you want to subscribe, please do. And leave a message. Just talk to me, reach out, ask me some stuff, man. But I won't call out those vocal coaches who don't know what they're talking about. But hopefully on my channel, where I'm giving you examples of good technique and bad technique, you'll start to hear those vocal coaches for yourself and go, hang on a minute. If you're listening to them sing and it just sounds okay, then at the very best, when you're copying them, you will only ever sound okay. You need a vocal coach that's connected to emotion. When they sing, can you feel the emotion in their singing? If you can, now there's a vocal coach, as long as they can teach that element, who's worth listening to and who's worth working with. Anyways, that's enough of my ramble. I thought, if you're here, I can ramble a bit, right? So have yourself a good day, my friend, and take care and have a great time singing. See ya.